We're going to keep it going. So you just heard from Yasmin, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring on our next speaker. This speaker comes to us with 25 years in the industry. 25 years ago, she was introduced to the industry because she loved some products she was taking. And ever since then, she ran with it. She ran in this industry. She is a best-selling author. She also runs a podcast, and we feel blessed that she chose Modere as her home. I'm going to bring to the line Lisa Cox. Welcome to the line, Lisa.
Oh, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I can't believe how early it is in Hawaii. You guys are doing a great job. Well, I'm so happy to be here. You know, I feel like I am the luckiest person alive to have found this industry, and I go out there and I tell people about that. When I first started, I literally knew nothing of the industry. I had a friend. I started in party planning, and I sold jewelry for 13 years. But when I started, I had two little girls. They're both grown women now. But I just wanted to be home with the girls. It was really important to me and for my husband and I. First of all, I needed the money. I couldn't not work, but I wanted to raise the girls. And at the time, I was in real estate, and I was really struggling with trying to be a great mom and be home as much as possible, but also be professional and make those house sales in order to make the money that we needed. As far as like coming from my part, my husband had a good business, but he was gone all day. It was an auto body shop, and he worked very long hours. So I was paying a nanny basically most of the time that I had to work to do the things with our daughters that I wanted to do. And it got to the point where I was really sad about it, and I would call home and they would say, oh, Mommy, I just did my first dive, you know, things like that. Like I dove into the pool, and I'm like, you know, all those things that just tear at your heart. And so I went to a jewelry show, and I saw what she was doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally do this, you know. So I just kind of dove in, not with zero education of how to do that type of sales. I just went out there like a woman with my hair on fire, and I went straight to the top of that company. And I only did it, it was like blind excitement. And I'm going to talk about, like, I'm going to give you my 5 magical words that I think is why I'm even been asked to be on this call today, because it's kind of my 5 magical words of success, and I'm going to go through those. But so what happened from there forward is I just kept going, and I just kept selling, and I kept helping other people do the same thing. I would lend everybody my products. I never even asked them to buy their own. I was like, no, I can help you if you don't have the money to get started. I just did everything in sort of the eyes of service and crazy excitement. And if you've ever met me, I'm, I can be a little hyper, but it's all from, the goodness of my heart. I just have a lot of energy to share, and when people are around that, it can be very attractive. And so I just kind of built that. And then company number 2 came along about 13 years into my career, where it started. And then company number 2 is where I consider myself that I went professional. That's when I took what we have here seriously. And I kind of asked you to look at your business like that today, because that's when I was like, holy smokes, like I can not only bring in some extra income that we need for the family, but I can make a lot of money, money that we can put in the bank and save and start, going towards our big goals. And at that point in our marriage, we didn't have that kind of money. And so that's when I got really serious. And I started looking at how can I be better every single day? What can I do? Where can I learn? Who can I follow? Who are the right mentors? And that company, I did quite very well. I went to the top of that company, had very, very, very large team and success, and all the while learning, growing, making mistakes, all that stuff. I mean, let me tell you guys, when you start from not knowing anything, it's a roller coaster. And don't get me wrong, there were times where I'm like, what the flip am I doing? Like, how did I end up teaching these people? Because they're learning from me, and I don't know anything. Like, it's a real deal. But I kept going, I kept showing up, and then I found Modere 7 years ago, or Modere found me, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But it was a God thing, no question in my life, a God wink that I was contacted about this company, and absolutely it aligned with everything I wanted and needed for my career for the rest of my life. I'm now empty nester. My husband and I, this is my full-time job, has actually direct sales has been my full-time job for the whole 27 years of my industry, being here in the industry. And so I'm going to go through my magical words. And so that's kind of my story. So I've been here 7 years. I am still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still every day trying to get better. And I'm nowhere near the levels that I want to be yet, because I'm always reaching for the next level. And that's just part of my personality. I'm happy where I am, but I'm always reaching, and I will never stop doing that. And that's sort of been, I think, part of why it's worked so well, because of the minute I hit something or the minute I get somewhere, I'm like, okay, what's next? How can we get better? How can we show someone else the way of Modere and help change their life? So that's sort of my mindset and where I came from. I am, 5 magical words. Okay, we're going to go through these. Purpose, joy, hustle, education, and growth. And already our speakers have touched on some of these because I think there's a lot of repetition in this business. And when I say that, I say it very positively, we don't have to be rocket scientists to have great success here. All we have to do is do the work, show up, right? So number 1, purpose. So I feel like it's very important to know how to work purposely in your business every single day. Block the noise, okay? There's always going to be noise, and we already talked about that today. There's always something going on in your life, in the world, out there, people's health, your family. It's endless, and if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be life, right? But you have to know how to keep your purpose and your focus moving towards your vision. A narrow focus, okay? I really believe that when you're working in purpose, you know exactly what you're trying to hit. And I mean, if someone walked up to you right now in your living room and said, what are you working towards? You should have an answer that rolls off your tongue super easy. So make sure you know your focus. What are your projects right now? Is it to get more customers? Is it to get more social marketers on your team? Whatever it is, write it down. Make sure it's very narrow and that you know exactly what you're marching towards. Let's see. I'm trying to read my notes. I write so sloppy. Be consistent with your message. So when you're working with purpose, your message is consistent. People know who you are. Like for me, my message has changed over the years, and yours can change and it can fluctuate. I'm really working hard right now at trying to attract the women that are sort of in my age, because I feel like they really relate to me. So I'm very consistent with my message of how to age gracefully, how to stay fit in your 50s, and things like that. So make sure you know who you are, know what your message is, and keep it very narrow for your purpose and your focus. I feel like the times where I kind of started to not do as well in my business, and I'm going to tell you, it's a roller coaster. There's some years I'm like, I'm kicking boots, hey, and there are some years where I'm like, wait a minute, what am I not doing right, okay? But all those years have led me to where I am today. So all of those are okay. But it's the times when I'm not narrowly focused on my purpose that I'm like, maybe I'm trying to do too much, and I have to like narrow it down and go back and sort of like trace my steps to exactly where I'm trying to go. So the next one, joy. Joy in everything. You have to decide to show up in joy every single day. Again, life isn't easy. Everyone's got something they're battling. But you have to make a decision to show up for that. People are attracted to joy. I will say when I walk in a room, I walk in a room with purpose of leaving that room more joyful than how I found it. And some days, it's not as easy as other days, but I always can smile. I always can talk to people with a joyful heart. I can always ask people questions about themselves. These are some of the things, the action steps you can do to spread joy. Find out about other people, okay? Let's see. If you show your joy in your life's work, people want to know what your life's work is, right? Because they're attracted to that. So I just feel like if you bring your A game and you feel your best, and a lot of bringing joy to a room means making sure you are bringing joy to yourself. Making sure and bringing your A game and, making sure that you can do that, a lot has to do with, number one, self-care. So a joyful heart is a heart that feels good. If you're not doing the things at home to take care of your own self and your own body and get enough sleep and water and rest and exercise, then you're probably not going to show up very joyful because you're not going to feel yourself. You're not going to feel good. If you're putting bad foods and crappy stuff in your body, you're going to be like, ugh, like that. You're going to walk in and be like, ugh, okay? So we don't want to be like that. So to bring joy, you must take care of yourself and then just walk in and light that area up and show people who you are. And then, they're going to love and they're going to want to hear what your vision is and what your purpose is, because they're going to be attracted to you. We always say here in the Midwest, flies, we want to spread joy like flies to sugar, okay? Number 3, hustle. We have to have a hustler's heart, gang. There's no time like the present to hustle your booty off. Now, we know the things to do, okay? Our daily activities, the things that we need to do each and every single day. We already talked about a couple of them today to be successful, but you have to be dedicated to your hustle. And you have to do it every day. Never stay in procrastination zone, okay? That is not the place to live, not the place to grow. Procrastination zone is where you just put everything off, and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. No. Today's the day. Have a hustler heart. Write that down and be that person. The no excuse zone. So part of hustling is not using excuses to get out of the hustle, right? And sometimes we get really lazy about our excuses and they come out and we're just that person where we're like, oh, I didn't get things done today because of this or because of that. No. No time for that. We have to be in hustle zone and do the work and get it done. And, if you're the person that kind of gets it and naturally might be kind of a procrastinator, it's okay. It's actually a part of a lot of people's personalities. It doesn't make you a bad person. But what I recommend is do it first thing in the morning. Get her done early, because if you wait till later, then you'll be like, it's the end of the day. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So let's do that. So let's hustle, guys. Let's really put the hustle out there. And just like Brandy was saying, Black Friday's coming. It is time to hustle double time right now. The next one, our 4th one, education. You're here. Congratulations. Yeah, we have to stay plugged in all the time to education. I had 0 education when I first started. Now, my hustle and my passion took me a long way, but then there's a point you have to go learn. You have to follow the right mentors, follow the right people. There isn't a moment that I don't hear John and Nadia Melton and I learn something new. I plug in. I'm a sideline. I'm not even on their team. I don't care. I freaking love them. They're like my favorite trainers, some of my favorite trainers ever in my life of the entire, and I tell them about it every time I see them. And so I plug in. I turn on his stuff whenever I get the chance. I sit there with my notepad. You guys, we need to be educated, and you have the best educators right here. And so it's just like a dream company because we have so many people to learn from, but there's also people out there and so much free information. You can hire a mentor. I think that's a great idea as well. I've done that many, many times. But you can also get free stuff out there all the time. All these big coaches have podcasts, and they're so good, and they're free. So make sure you guys are always educating and growing yourself, always growing yourself. If you're not on a call, in a call, doing the training, or working your daily activities, plug something into your ear, turn off the TV and do that, because it really makes a difference. And once I started getting educated, that's when I felt like I was a true professional in this industry. And that made me feel better, made me feel stronger. I think it always makes you work better the more that you learn. Number 5, growth. Always be growing. That's part of the education. You learn some stuff, you go out, you implement the stuff you learn, and then you grow. And then you get better. We always have to be kind of morphing with the times. I don't think this industry will ever sit still. Margie can tell us about that. But, we always have to be growing. And I implore you to have an open heart to change. Don't be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of it. I have seen so much. Oh, my gosh, I lived through this industry in 2008 where the bomb dropped out of the entire economy. Hey, we did fine. We did fine. So just be okay with the change and be out there with an open heart to the change and just keep yourself growing in the right direction. Don't be afraid of things like AI. Don't be afraid of it. It is going to be a part of your future. So just sort of grab a hold of it, learn a little bit about it, and grow with it, and don't be afraid of it. So those are my 5 magical words that I feel like have carried me through the years in the industry. And I just want to thank you for your time today, and I hope you guys got some good little nugget, and I'll pass it back to you.
We are so thankful for you, Lisa. You were on fire today. How awesome this was. The chats are going off. Our teams are loving what you've shared. So thank you so much for coming, even being a sideline with the team, and yet coming here to share with us and inspire us and to share with what's worked to help you achieve all of your success. So thank you so much.